Street 919 FM.
Jesus opened the eyes of the blind. He gave back to people the gift of sight. Vision is the faculty of sight. It is unusual competence in discernment or perception. That goes beyond looking at a thing. It is looking beyond a thing, looking into a thing, so that you have an unusual competence in the ability to discern what others miss. Webster says that a vision is a mental image produced by the imagination. Ah, it's deeper than that, Mr. Webster. He did the best he could. Vision has at its root, as we said on Xavier's Day, an idea. An idea is a well-developed thought. You know, in the comic books, whenever somebody had a brilliant thought or idea, they would put over the head a light, a bulb. That's it, light got turned on in the guy's head. He saw something. He had an idea. But he really didn't have an idea. He had a thought. Because ideas are different from thoughts. Ideas, like thoughts, exist in the mind, potentially or actually as a product of mental activity. You can't have an idea or thought if your mind is not active. Brain waves on a machine that scans the activity of your mind, of your brain, shows an electrical energy in the brain that says this is alive. Electrical energy in the brain allows the brain to do what the brain is designed to do. Create thought, create image, create pictures. Listen, once you have a thought, that is a concept. When you say, sister has conceived, what do you mean? Sister has conceived. What do you mean? She's pregnant, right? Conception is not baby. The conception has all the necessary ingredients to make the baby. But But now it needs a period of gestation and growth in the darkness of the womb so that conception becomes a fully developed child, baby, fetus. When thought germinates in the mind, if you don't continue to think on the thought, I want you to hear me. If you don't continue to think on the thought, then the thought without more thought only is a thought that comes and goes. And you will say when somebody else comes up with the thought but thinks on the thought, they stole my idea. They stole my stuff. They making the money and I ain't got none. Dirty, low-down thief. Wait a minute, fool. You don't have any corner on thought. You don't have any specific corner on imagery. Many of you have good thoughts, but you do nothing about what you think. So the thought was an opportunity that you blew because you didn't do by the thought what you should have done. You got to think on the thought. You have to think on the thought. And thinking on the thought is feeding the thought. Then the thought develops into an idea. And that idea has with it a plan, a scheme, a method of fulfilling and concretizing what was a mental image that had potential, but now you want to actualize what you have envisioned. But if you even develop the idea or the thought into an idea and still will not work the idea, then God will give the idea to somebody else who will fulfill the idea and fulfill the vision brought by the idea. After the thought brings up a concept, you've conceived. Most people talk the thought, and the thought gets lost. It's like showing the baby before the baby is a baby. Who wants to see a clot but an abortionist? And most times we get a thought, we speak it before we think on the thought. Get it developed. And it must develop in darkness, like the womb of the female, the womb of the mind. Develop your ideas. Then develop the method, the plan of execution. The idea will bring up a picture of the completed thing. The picture is in your brain. You can draw it on a piece of paper so that you can keep the vision before your eyes. But putting it on paper isn't actualizing the vision. The vision is only actualized when you bring it into concrete reality. How do you bring it into concrete reality? First, without faith, you can't work the vision. Even if you see it, you gotta now believe that you can bring it. Believe. Not only believe in God, but believe in yourself. Believe that you can do what you envision that must be done. But belief alone is not of any value unless belief is translated into practice or work.
Greetings, beloved family. I begin in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful. I bear witness that there is but one God. I greet you in the greeting words of peace of Assalamu Alaikum, and also Ramadan Mubarak, and actually Eid Mubarak, as this weekend, going into Monday, begin the celebration for the festival of Eid after completing one full month of fasting for the holy month of Ramadan. For many of us, today is day number 29. Tomorrow being day number 30, unless the moon is sighted before that. And then our Eid celebration at the Kwame Ture Center is from 10 o'clock Monday morning, which is a public holiday. So we invite our people out, and of course, refreshments will be served. So, beloved, another very interesting week in Trinidad and Tobago, and we have a lot to talk about. But in a short while from now, we'll open up the telephone lines and we'll take your calls on 342-0081 and 466-5391. You could also send WhatsApp messages directly to me on 332-0214. And of course, we are live on the social media pages of the Street 919 FM. So we had another disturbing episode with our police this week. And I want to point out to us, I want to take this opportunity to send peace and blessings and love out to all of the good police officers, the good ones, the great ones, those brothers who have dedicated themselves to being men in the communities, who have dedicated themselves to making their communities a better place. And I may have reason to believe that it is, in particular, the rank and file, the ordinary lower rank officers, who are some of those who, much more than others, are really committed to making the neighborhood a better place. It is many of those who are so unhappy, so displeased, and even so disgusted with the corruption that comes out of the institutions. It's similar with the politics. You know, you speak to some, I mean, we had so many guests, of course, at the Kwame Ture Center for Iftar, for the breaking of the fast, throughout the month, from different political parties, different trade unions, social movements. We had some of our Rastafarian brothers on Thursday night. We had different people in all walks of life, in different positions of authority in their field, as our guests for our dinners throughout the entire month. And just like in the police and the politics as well, you have those who are a bit younger, a bit on the lower levels, haven't gotten up to the senior levels of their various political parties as yet, but they're disgusted by the corruption that is being excused. Of course, a major talking point in Trinidad and Tobago right now is former finance minister or minister in the Ministry of Finance, Karen Nunes Teixeira, who came out and openly admitted that a former prime minister told her which businesses in the country and which existing businessmen sold and trafficked cocaine to get to where they are. And those who are doing it now to stay where they are. To me, the biggest blind spot in the history of Trinidad and Tobago media, probably ever since the first newspaper was published in this country, would have been October 28th, 2011. October 28th, 2011, when Mr. Manning held a press conference in San Fernando, former Prime Minister Patrick Manning, where he broke his silence for the first time since losing the election in May 2010. A year and 5 months later, Mr. Manning holds a press conference, and his major theme was those major businesses in Trinidad and Tobago that are at the helm of the drug trade. I mean, that was what, 11 years ago. I would have done a radio program on that, on average, at least once every 6 months. At least once every 6 months. More than that, but on average, that's what, at least 22 times I would have spoken about that in the last 11 years. And that wasn't even a major news headline. If you didn't hear the press conference itself, you would have missed that totally by following up on the news reports after. Because what they focused on was the opening statement where Mr. Manning said that he wanted to give space to the new leader of the opposition, Dr. Keith Rowley, for, you know, after a year and how many times he said he didn't want to say too much because he wanted to give Dr. Rowley time and space to settle in. The media took that and made a headline out of that. Mr. Manning says, I think, apologized to Dr. Rowley for something. And I'm thinking to myself, here a man who was the prime minister of this country for the longest tenure of anyone since Dr. Eric Williams himself, Mr. Patrick Manning, here, our second longest serving prime minister, it calls a press conference to talk about big businesses that are trafficking tens of millions of dollars in drugs under the noses of the authorities. And that was ignored by the mainstream media for them to focus on conflict within the political party. They probably felt that would have sold more newspapers. And now here a former minister is again recalling information that Mr. Manning told us about 11 years ago. How do we forget so good, or how do we forget so bad? It's really, really awkward. So that level of corruption within our society is institutionalized. It's systemic. It's our culture. It's our norm. And what makes it even worse is how it is excused and defended. So I put a post on social media basically saying, and in analyzing the situation, I'm going to read it for word. Where I said, how can a man coming down a hill from the top be shot from behind from another man at the bottom of the same hill? Think. Isn't that something like that is only possible in our country? How can a man who is coming down a hill from the top, he's coming down a hill, but he is shot at the back of his head from another man who is standing at the bottom of that hill? And then once poor people's lives are involved, they will say anything to lie, deceive, and cover up. They will even say a bullet bended around a tree. Oh, I'll never forget that night in 2014 when the police executed 3 men, including Dylan Bandy Skeet, up in around Block 22. And on the same night, it was reported that there was shooting at the Besson Street Police Station, which any of you who know East Port of Spain will know that that's quite a distance away. Not only is it quite a distance away, but it's also takes some complicated geography to get there, coming down a winding hill. And a former national security minister who eventually became a commissioner of police attempted to offer an explanation, saying that this was one of the most unbelievable things I'd ever heard. He said that, now listen to this, I know I'm not that kind of crazy. Although sometimes I think to myself, is it just me who heard this? But I'm not that kind of crazy to think I heard something that I didn't hear. It was said. Now listen to it. This was September 2014. 3 men were executed by the police, but it turned out messy because one of them was actually, I think his name was Joel Tash, a Jamaican filmmaker. They were filming a production called Lights of Laventil. 3 of them, according to numerous eyewitnesses, but of course the police are the ones who always tell the truth. And sometimes 5s, 10s, 20s, dozens, could be even hundreds of eyewitnesses, always see the wrong thing. Always. Unless, of course, camera footage surfaces like the Movar 3, where they lie and they lie and they lie and they lie, and then camera evidence surfaces, and then they lie to you in a way that they think you're stupid. Just like how the politicians try to get you to vote for them, they talk to you in a way ensuring to themselves these people have to be illiterate. They have to be illiterate. That's the only way we can talk to them like this and expect them to still support us. They have to be. Same way they talk down to you in a way where they believe that you are dumbed down. The police are doing the same thing. So listen. September 2014, the police execute these 3 men. Listen, man, let me be more specific on this and get a few straight and plain. Right. So, this was September 25th. 3 men slain. A total of 5 men were shot. 3 were killed. Eyewitness accounts told of the men being lined up against a wall and executed by officers. it was later discovered that these victims were involved in a film project called Lights of Laventille. And then the story from the national security authorities began to change after that. Of course, you get the normal narrative that somebody somewhere was shooting at the police, all right? Always happens like that, always. People in this country just see police and shoot at them. So, of course, that was a given story. These men saw the police and just started shooting at the police, as everyone does in this country. But when the information came out, oh no, they were actually on a film project, Lights of Laventille. Then the story changed. On the September 27th, 2014 Express stated, despite an official denial from both the police and regiment that they had no involvement in the killing of reputed gang leader Dylan Bandy Skeet, Joel Tash, and Special Reserve Police. Right, so Joel Tash was a Special Reserve Police hopeful, and Jamaican filmmaker Tremaine Thomas. Some residents of Desperately Crescent, Laventille, continue to insist that they did. The Minister of National Security was reported to have said the next day, this was Gary Griffith, that it was two gangs that were shooting at each other that caused the deaths. And afterwards, one of the gangs began shooting at the Besson Street police station. But the killings took place up a hill. What is it with these hills and lies from the police? The executions by the police took place up a hill approximately 1 mile away and along much winding road from the police station. So in other words, if what the police and the Ministry of National Security were saying had any truth in it, it means that these two gangs were shooting up the hill and bullets came down Laventille Road, swerving around the corner from Block 22. Down the hill by the natural spring, that bubbling water that's always running out by Belgrade Street, passing Belgrade Street, curving again some more, passing Schuller Street, then making a sharp left turn while going downhill, and then making another very sharp right turn on that winding road, stopping at the intersection on Piccadilly Street, and then making a sharp left, winding around Piccadilly Street, past the edge of Prince Street, then Queen Street, making another minor bend to turn left and hit the Besson Street police station. All of those lies, because the initial story of police being shot at and then the police shooting back, it couldn't stand because they were doing a film. Didn't know that there was a Jamaican, well-known Jamaican filmmaker who was there with them. But they saw it as an opportunity to execute someone that they were looking for. And again, you can tell poor people anything, like was done this week with the young brother in trying to find some justification to apprehend him. They said he shot the police officer. And you know when you put yourself in an embarrassing situation and then the way that you react to it is even more embarrassing? They're saying they want him to turn himself in. Then an autopsy is revealed, and God alone knows what we would have been told if that autopsy information was not made public. So they say, listen, this man is a suspect. He shot this man. We're going to hunt him down. We're going to get the manhunt on. We're going to get him. All of that talk. Then scientific information is released that exonerates him. And then say, no, we still need you to come. Man, what? Where else on earth? I'm asking you. Where else on earth? So man is on the run. Manhunt. Wanted criminal. Murder suspect. Turn yourself in. And all kind of back and forth on social media with lawyer statements being made. Our client wants to turn himself in, but he has some concerns. All of that. Then you find out that the person who you had under suspicion is definitely not the person who was guilty of this crime. But you say, no, we're still coming. We still want you to come. What the hell? Put yourself in that position just for a moment. Put yourself in that situation. Imagine you are being accused of a crime that you did not commit. And then evidence surfaces that you're really innocent. Yes, you always knew it, but now it's known to the general public. And they actually found the person who really did it, or they have a list of other suspects of which you are completely ruled out, but the manhunt for you continues. Wouldn't that suggest that, well, maybe they were hunting me as a man for something else? I'm fasting still, man. Where else? Could anyone tell me that? Where else on this planet? But I want to share with you something, an article here that reminded me very much of this case. And this I would have shared with you before, but it's showing you the consistency of the pattern. Here I have a Guardian newspaper article entitled Police Officer and Student Killed. Now this is December 15th, 2015. Now listen to this story and you tell me how much things have changed, if at all. Four suspects were assisting police in their investigation into the murder of one of their colleagues. Police Constable Russell Ramnarine and a University of the West Indies student, Iwer Kashwa, who were both gunned down outside a barbecue outlet in Aranguez. Investigating officers were wondering how Ramnarine failed to get off a single shot in response to his attackers, who seemed to have been less than a meter away from him at the time of the attack. An official TTPS report said Ramnarine, who was on duty but in plain clothes, along with a uniformed officer, was said to be following up on a robbery report made by Iwer Kashwa of a phone among several other items, and Ramnarine and the other officer had accompanied Kashwa in an unmarked vehicle to Aranguez to meet a suspect to retrieve the stolen items. So basically, it's like a sting operation about to go down, right? Article continues. But when the suspect observed the uniformed officer in the vehicle, he ran off. What do you expect, right? Ramnarine, who in this case was the plainclothes police officer, and the other suspect, and the other officer, chased after the suspect. Right. All of this is we expect so far. At some stage, however, Ramnarine, the plainclothes police officer, stopped his pursuit and made his way back to the food outlet, allowing the other officer to continue the chase. However, just as Ramnarine made his way back to the vehicle where Avery Keshwa was still seated and was about to enter it, shots were fired from inside the barbecue outlet. Both men were hit several times and died on the spot. There was no exchange of gunfire. Now picture this. 2 police officers and a student. Here they're involved in this sting operation to get back some stolen items. They show up in the car, and the person that they're supposed to meet says, well, wait, this looks suspicious. Police, I gone. And he runs. The student stays in the car. The 2 police run after him. The plainclothes one, Russell Ramnarine, he comes back, probably exhausted, I don't know, maybe breathing heavy, whatever, comes back to the car. He's about to get in, and then someone from inside the food outlet that they were to meet at starts shooting and kills both of them, shooting both of them several times. Very, 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 very fishy situation. But then it is said, a senior police officer who did not want to be identified gave the TNT Guardian another theory, suggesting the attack may have also been a hit on Ramnarine, as he was a main witness against several other police officers currently before the courts charged with a criminal offense. Let me read that again. This is the Guardian newspaper, December 15th, 2015. It says a senior police officer who did not want to be identified gave the TNT Guardian another theory, suggesting the attack may have also been a hit on the plainclothes police officer, Russell Ramnarine, as he was a main witness against several other police officers currently before the courts charged with a criminal offense. Now, how similar does that sound to this other story here that we're reading about today? Continues. He said, this is the senior police officer, who of course did not want to be identified. He said the incident had left many of them shocked to know that the possibility exists that Officer Ramnarine was killed allegedly by one of his own colleagues. A senior police officer is lamenting over this. That Officer Ramnarine, the possibility exists that he was killed by one of his own colleagues, according to the Guardian newspaper, December 15, 2015. An eyewitness, again, who did not want to be identified. You see, in this country, once you say witness or eyewitness, to say that they did not want to be identified, that's redundant. I mean, that's understood, right? Once you're a witness, once you saw some crime, you don't even have to put in brackets in the newspapers who did not want to be identified. That goes without saying. So it says, an eyewitness who did not want to be identified, why even bother to read that, claimed that when the incident occurred, police officers were seen running through adjacent streets. So, picture it. Two police officers running after a suspect. One keeps running, the other one comes back. When he comes back, he's shot multiple times. And then after he's shot, other police officers are seen running in adjacent streets. He also alleged that the 4 people arrested were randomly taken from their private properties by the cops. He said, quote, "Those police lie because no one from the barbecue place was arrested. No security, no body. The police just take up 4 men just so from around the area." Maybe if they had arrested people who were actually at the barbecue outlet, maybe they would have said much more as witnesses. Maybe more truth would have come out. So you just snatch up willy-nilly anyone who's available. The eyewitness, who didn't want to be identified, also alleged that a number of spent shells were found in a garbage heap close to where the bodies were found. And these two stories have such an ominous parallel. So, such deja vu. And the people that I've spoken to on this over the past week, and the friends / and or family members who, from the very beginning, as soon as this story came out, it was, no, something's wrong here. They're lying again. But outside of that forensic report, outside of that autopsy, you know what people in the country would have said? And this is where the story gets worse. And I just know it so well. The people in the country would have started blaming the victim of the manhunt and start saying things like, oh, look at them. They're spending all their money on sneakers. Oh, look at them. Look at how he has his hair. Look at his tattoos. Sick people in this country, I'm telling you. All right, well, let me open up the telephone lines. 342-0081 and 466-5391. And, of course, you can send WhatsApp messages to 332-0214. Caller, good morning. Are you there? Okay, you could probably try to call us again on 342-0081 and 466-5391. I hope I hope the phones aren't giving any problems this morning, but you can try. Caller, can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Right, go ahead.
Are you hearing me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I want to say good morning on to you. I want to say good morning and blessing on to all of the people of Trinidad and Tobago, especially the African people of Trinidad and Tobago. I want to say it is very scary for young men who decide, well, to join the police force in Trinidad and Tobago. You understand? Because they're going to go inside there and meet corrupted officers who maybe might be able to corrupt some of these young officers entering the police force. But the problem is, what we are facing here is not something happened. This is not something happening just 5 years or 10 years ago. This has been around for a while now. Corruption in the police force, you understand? And I'm telling you, we know what is causing it. We know what is causing it. Some of them is being paid to protect some of the people, what you mentioned earlier, and what Manning speak about into business. So they try to, cover it up and all that. You know what notice about, know what is funny about that whole thing after Manning speak about these businessmen? The Prime Minister then and the Prime Minister now never try to do anything to solve the problem. This Manning try with the bringing in the UPVs and all that to protect the border lines and all these other different drugs coming in and all that. You understand? But what these people ever try to do, these former after Manning, these two leaders after Manning there. You understand? It's scary. It is very scary. Because it is not getting better, it's getting worse. You understand? And every day you turn on your radio, your TV, you're hearing a amount of murders in Trinidad and Tobago because... And then the point fingers at only one set of people, which is the black youths on the ground, who some of them might end up with the guns in their hand. You understand? But if you don't try to cut off the head of the snake, you understand? I mean, they say, come on. You understand? The people on the ground, you understand? They come like, it's easy to get at the youths on them because, they don't have nothing positive going for them right now. After all this amount of lockdown and, you understand, no money in the country. I want to say something, eh?
But wait, caller, I'll have to ask you to... Okay, continue quickly. If you could finish it in 15 seconds.
No, I know your time running out there. I will call back, don't worry.
All right. Thank you. You could have finished up within the 15 seconds, but those 15 seconds within themselves are almost up. Time is so valuable. Our time is so precious. All right, so stay with us. We'll be right back with you after the break. Don't go away.
The views expressed are not necessarily the views of the management of the Street 919 FM.
And you make a song, take my short and you make it long. Keep my feet firmly on the ground. When I'm weak, yeah, you make me strong. So for you know I sing this song. Everybody hands up and sing it with me. We are
a safe and relaxed professional massage therapist and nutritionist? Look no further. Nature's Touch with Empress Judy and Associates offers a natural approach to better health. Treat yourself to a professional massage therapy and nutrition advice in a safe and relaxed atmosphere. Rejuvenate your body, mind, and soul at Nature's Touch Therapy. For an appointment, please call or WhatsApp 1-868-398-8282 or visit our Facebook page. Remember, your health is our responsibility at Nature's Touch.
Mom loves to comment on the pictures you post.
That's my daughter. I remember when she was in Pampers.
And call during those important meetings.
Hello?
Leroy, you want food later?
Mom, I'm in a meeting. But what you cook?
Show Mom more love with great Mother's Day specials from B-Mobile. Get a 30-day prepaid plan for only $100. Handsets with any postpaid plan starting at $499. Plus, 1 month free service and 25% off for 11 months when you switch to B-Mobile. It's more love for moms with B-Mobile.
Get great Eid specials and extra foods plenty for 20. Rajapuri curry powder, 4 for $20. Mini Moo milk, 5 for $20. Gala apples, 10 for $20. Split peas, 5 packs for $20. MP chana, 4 for $20. Lion's bacon powder, 4 for $20. Hair tracks, 5 for $20, and so much more. Sale ends May 9th, and check us out on Facebook and Instagram for even more specials. Eid Mubarak from Extra Foods. Always extra for less.
From the studio to the stage, every Friday between 3 to 4 p.m. Right here on the street, 919 FM. Radio you can see. Log on to our Facebook and YouTube so you can see live interviews and performances from some of our very own local superstars. Right here on the street, 919 FM.
Blessings in the wonderful name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. You are invited to listen to the Final Hour broadcast heard every Monday from 12 midnight to 5 a.m. in the morning on the street 919 FM radio. Hear my mom, Pastor Helen Garcia, and myself, Pastor Valentine Garcia Jr., preach the word of God to the elderly, youth, and children. We can be contacted at 629-0113 or 623-8444. The church is located at 26 Prince Street in Port of Spain. We look forward to you joining us. God bless you.
As my life I lay it on the altar, as my life.
Better vision for your physical eyes, and through the eyes of faith, let healing arise in your mind, body, and spirit. At Natural Healing Ministries, we teach kingdom principles for living that brings the blessing of God to your mind, body, and soul.
NHM Professional Associates are located at number 10 Moody Stewart Street, Monrepos, San Fernando. For more info, contact Dr. Desmond Phillip at NHM on 349-3494.
NHM Professional Associates can be heard live on the street 919 FM every Saturday from 9:05 to 9:55 a.m.
Share the live. Share the live. The Street 919 FM on Facebook and Instagram. Share the live. Iowa George on Instagram. Share the live. Iowa TV and Street TV on YouTube. Share the live. The Street 919 FM.
Brotherhood is required. Brotherhood is demanded. Brotherhood is obligatory. Black man, get up. Black man, stand up. Black man, you better listen. So there's a need for brotherhood. Black man, get up. Black man, stand up. Black man, you better listen. Black man, get up. Black man, stand up. Black man, you better listen. Brotherhood is demanded. Black man, get up. Black man, stand up. Black man, you better listen. Brotherhood is required. Brotherhood is demanded. Brotherhood is obligatory. Brotherhood is essential, it is urgent, and it is compulsory. But the time demands brotherhood. Whenever the dominant white society fears for its economic future, racial tensions are always aggravated. The aim of Almighty God is to bring the black man and woman together. The aim of Almighty God is that we, no matter how divided we have been in the past, must experience unity in order to gain the success that we seek and the progress that we desire. There is no way that a divided people can build a future. Brotherhood is required. Brotherhood is demanded. So there's a need for brotherhood. But if you walk the earth proud and arrogant, you never learn your lesson because you think you already know. And how the hell could you know and be in the shape that we're in? How can there be any brotherhood if there's not even the honoring of a word?
Black man, get up. Black man, stand up. Black man, you better listen. Black man, get up. Black man, stand up. Black man, you better listen. Black man, get up. Black man, stand up. Black man, you better listen.
But the Quran and the Bible bear witness that the heavens and the earth were created with truth.
Black man, stand up. Black man, you better listen.
Brotherhood
Welcome back and welcome to the second hour of the Black Agenda here on the Street 919 FM. We're going up to 9 o'clock and we're continuing to take your calls on 342-0081 and 466-5391. And let me just say really quickly, beloved family, you know, so we've set a date for our African Unity Conference. It's the last Saturday in May. And 2 weeks after that, we're going to launch our Boys Youth Academy, which will be in early June. And then, of course, on Monday, we invite you all out to our Eid celebration. We have the lecture at 10 o'clock. The prayer first, then the lecture presentation or the khutbah at 10 o'clock. And then refreshments will be served at around 12 noon. But we're coming out of this holy month of Ramadan with a new and revitalized energy and work where a mission is continuing. And I just want to share a point that we've been discussing recently. That we have to begin to recognize the self-destructive forces that are plaguing us. We have to be able to identify the systems that we are participating in that are destroying us. And one simple point, beloved, this is why we as black men must not call each other niggers. We are brothers. Niggers is what we were made into by our white slave masters and colonizers when they kidnapped, human raped, trafficked, and enslaved us out of Africa and brought us over to the Western Hemisphere. We were robbed of a knowledge of ourselves, and we were disconnected from the legacy and heritage of Africa, where we were a great people. They dehumanized us and made us into niggers, and through their self-hatred created a colonial educational system that we learned from, and now we hate each other in the same way that they hate us. So you hear someone saying, a black person in that self-destructive mode, I'm gonna kill those niggers. I'm gonna shoot that nigger. And the same self-loathing that he has for the other person is a reflection of how he feels about himself. But you'll never hear a black man say, I'm gonna kill those brothers. I'm gonna shoot that brother. No. Because when you think of a brother, you're thinking about a family member or someone of your own kind who's a reflection of you. Your brother is your other self. So we don't think of each other as niggers to devalue us and conjure up memories and ideas of self-hatred. No, we see each other as brothers. And putting ourselves into that frame of mind of seeing all black men as brothers, we are naturally reconditioned and reprogrammed to live with each other's family and in peace. And this is the kind of consciousness that we must spread in and among between our people. What is it with this phone? So, let's go to the phone lines. Caller, are you there?
Good morning, sir. Doctor, you hear me? Good morning, doctor.
Yes, good morning.
Eid Mubarak to you and the Muslim community.
Eid Kareem, your phone line sounds really bad, but we could understand you.
You getting me properly now?
Well, I could understand what you're saying, but the quality isn't good. But go ahead, please.
Okay, doctor. Now, when I look back at that issue with that young man and the police,
yes,
it took my mind back to the La Tinta murder with Bernadette James.
And
it
so
brought
many
back
others, yeah.
so much memory. I'll tell you this. It is strange, it is not funny, but I will not sit to the edge of my seat. When I had listened to the mother with the interview with Fazil, she was saying she have a lot to say. She have a lot to spill with the activities with her son and the police. And she said she knew why they wanted to kill him. You see, brother, you brought so much heavy stuff this morning. And when you spoke about the former finance minister, it went right back where the underworld is fueling mainstream economy. And let me repeat this for all and sundry to hear. It reminds me and tells me that the underworld is fueling mainstream economy. And that is why this nation is in crisis. But my dear doctor, philosopher, and friend, as I take my leave, this morning permit me to call out mothers, fathers, grandfather, grandmother, aunts and uncle. It is time you all wake up and speak to these African children.
I am calling all on sundry, to all those who are hiding behind the curtain, to all African brothers and sisters who listen to this program and who will interact after. It is time we speak to our children. It cannot go out as it is going at the present moment, Doctor. And I'm saying all is not well. So I'm calling out the African community. Speak to your children. Tell them the governance system and the entire security system is against them. They will kill them. Eid Mubarak.
Thank you, sir. And I hope that you do support our youth academy, our boys academy, when we kick off in June. We already have the girls academy up and running. That's the sisters. So the brothers don't get involved in the girls academy, but we have the boys academy coming up. We're planning and structuring this project very carefully. Of all of the programs that we've done, hosted by the Nation of Islam, the Kwame Ture Center, the Black Agenda Project, we're making sure in particular that this one is done very, very meticulously. All right, caller, are you there?
Mr. Good morning to you, Brother Mohammed.
Yes, good morning, sir.
And I must say it is a blessed to hear that you have an academy for young girls. That is a wonderful thing. I know it's more for African, but I know once you're a trainee, what color, age, here, you could come to that Kwame Ture School Center there. Wonderful building where anybody could walk in there. And I do not know if it's a rules or a policy, but it's also good for the young boys and the young girls to mix up. So I do not know you can to come, you could join up because you know when you go in the army, you go as police. It's not because I think the academy is about learning, it's about doing physical training and this kind of stuff. So it's okay for men to mix up with the young men to mix up the young girls have one body instead of having two different boys and girls separate. I put them together. That's our advice, but it's your choice and all your team and the group and of the members of the organization to do. Brother Mohammed, I want to thank you for that powerful editorial about the alleged killing. I call it versus citizen versus police. And Brother Mohammed, you talk about how the shooting will take place in Desperate Crescent with the Dunskit, but I know by Bandy. We know what takes place there. We also see 3 murders take place in the Young Road by the rocks of the church there when Guy Gifford was the commissioner. We also see the former commissioner went over a dead man who the police killed and to put hospital in the hospital. The former commissioner. Yes. Remember on Guy Gifford's first watch, 5 men dead in a house in Mova. That's what caused God Christopher to lose his work on power. 1 and 2. When he called the commissioner a vampire. Today, Guy Griffith have my friend God Christopher in court that God Christopher cannot say anything about him when he was the commissioner of police.
Is that so?
Yes, 5 black Parado went up in Mova looking for God Christopher. They must someone to come to court. And after 2 years, that case is still going on. That God Christopher cannot talk about Gary Gifford, cannot mention his name because he put a kind of muzzle in the court of the mouth. So anytime God posts anything about him on Facebook, it could use it against him in court. So a lot of things what people did not know. But now they know. But Brother Mohammed, I am seeing a trend in this country, and it hurt me dearly, rare dearly, Brother Mohammed. To see today the people who is supporting this gentleman, so far, what we are seeing are innocent. What the evidence I read, what I hear, I could say that even for me, things they are so far seen that he died a young fella. I do not know him, and I do not want to know him. But what I'm seeing that so far they are looking innocent. But I am seeing one set of people who is supporting this young boy now, and I am seeing a next set of people who is supporting the police. And I want to break it down to you, brother Mohammed, for you to understand. Today, certain individuals against the acting commissioner because of who appointed. So any fault with the police service, there's people in the political arena and individuals will come out and support the alleged person, the alleged man, right? And today, there's people who are supporting the acting commissioner because of who appoint them, because of who appoint him to be. The same way how they support Gary Griffith, because it's who appoint Gary Griffith. And Gary Griffith, to me, I always say, how could we put a politician as a commissioner of my country? So, Brother Mohammed, we are divided bad. We is a society of hypocrites. We is a society, and Brother Mohammed, what have our country so, and the police service so, and every ministry, every minister, every MP, is the two people and them who support the political parties of this country. These is the people and them on the both two political side have our country hurting because they will stand up for the country. They will stand up for the party. They will stand up for the Indian woman and the black man. But when it's time to unite for the churn country, they wouldn't do it. That is why, because, Brother Mohammed, I don't want to hear them at all. Because if we remove Dr. Rowdy now, I think the way how we pick a commissioner, it will change. You think the way how we select a president, it will change. Here how it will change, Brother Mohammed. Here how it will change. When they go in power, whoever go in power, they remove the commissioner and put them commissioner who them like. They remove the president and put them president who they like. And they call that constitution reform. They call that to them supporters. You move a chairman from a board, and that chairman was performing good. Because UNC put it there, or Peter put him there, you remove him. You remove him. Because why? We are living in a country of people who care only for the party, only. The moment they think our country should be like this. Today, how we could allow other Caribbean leaders make an example about we country, telling them country, do not let they come at we Trinidad and Tobago. How could we have to improve our country? We cannot improve a party. We cannot improve a commissioner because my party pick him. We cannot support a president because my party pick him. How could we? How could we be living? Look, it's almost 2 weeks now. Gas price going up. You know going on? We living our life normal. We traveling normal. We going in the grocery and buying and we complaining normal. We going on social media and complain normal. Brother Mohammed, we didn't wake up. Brother Mohammed, we didn't wake up. The song like they wake up. The song like they're intelligent. But they are not. They are not. They are not, Brother Mohammed. And as I leave, Brother Mohammed, I feel so sad for my people who support the police service when that act go on. My African people support the police. Put them up on Facebook. Put up the man, the young boy, and say look at him, the blood and the black. Yeah. They go on the programs because why? The party pick the commissioner and they want the police service look good.
Yeah.
And
all right.
aggressive.
Yeah.
Brother Mohammed, I want to thank you as always.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, in my opinion, it's not even worth repeating things that people say like that. Caller, good morning.
Yeah, like the phone is breaking up, brother.
Greetings.
Yeah.
Caller.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
I feel like King. I still hear the King waiting in the background.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
But Brother David, Kings will join this thing too late, you know. Because how long you have been saying it. I just imagine, Brother David, you know I went to my ordeal, right? I just imagine with this young man here, I ain't backing no criminal. And if it's a criminal, it's a criminal. We're not backing no criminal. But what I'm saying, just imagine if it after this come out, if the government will still pursue this young man. And I know if they're finding Brother David, they would have brought him.
Yeah, they would have probably killed him.
And then, 2 days later, after they kill him, then the report that came out that the police was shot up there. All this government.
Yeah, but then, if they had killed him, and then the report came out about the officer being shot in the back of his head, then they would have said that he was shooting at them first.
Exactly. And Brother David, as what Brother Tabaki has just said, I believe it's time for all religious leaders, all of them, come out and do something because we don't have a police service. We have a police blue force and a corrupted police force because if Gary Griffiths never kicked out of office, we wouldn't even know certain things right now. You understand me? So all along, all of us from both political parties is following blind. It's going to make some blind people leading us. Because how long you have been saying it, Brother David, we have a corrupted society. Well corrupted. It's a well-oiled machine. And when the police can't get away with you, you are taken out. And there has to be a reason why they want to take out this young man. Have been even hustling for the police. Maybe have been hustling for the police, you know. And the young man mother said, she have more to say why the police want him out. This young man made the hustling for the police. And it's time for society to wake up. We are not going to get no justice in this country until justice is served properly. Where there is no justice, there will be no peace. You can imagine this whole long weekend going. You can imagine the holy month of Ramadan, the holy month of Easter. So much murder, Brother David. Wait a minute. The holy men are going through the door. And these young men can say, let me put on my gun till after Ramadan. Let me put on my gun till after Easter. Right in the middle of the birth of Christ and the resurrection of Christ is murder. And Kingsley, you're waking up late. Because when you were supposed to be talking out, you wasn't talking out. All of them kings, they corrupted. There's no good one in none of them. No good in none. And any good, resign. Because if they were good, they don't resign. When they see what is going on. King, if they want to know what's going on in Trinidad, Kingsley,
Come down to my business. Yes, let me take you for a walk and take you for a drive around my community, and you'll see why the youth will always be the crime. Come down and check me. I will carry you free in my car. You come and see me, Kingsley. Let me show you what's going on around me.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, caller. Good morning.
Blessed morning.
Good morning to you.
I have two issues right now. If you have said some kind of 100 million they given to Africans concerning slavery.
Say that again, sorry?
Harvard University. You must read it. You need to know $100 million toward Africans doing what they did in slavery.
Well, I heard about Glasgow University.
Well, Harvard in the United States.
Right.
But what in Harvard is starting with $100 billion Harvard. They do to start with. 100 million is just a few cents for each African. If you was showing you.
That's like stamp duties.
Yeah, if you was showing you.
Yeah.
Do I want to tell these people and them, they opening their eyes to see the reality of the situation. Only cannot keep us no more. Only cannot enslave us no more. We are bright, have the understanding of knowing our history right now, and doing the things that is necessary for our prosperity. This is what has to happen right now. Unity is the key. They could jump high, jump low. All the African leaders, all who want to say they have the little curators of zoos in all these little nations, and even on African soil, they have people like, if they are the curators, and they're just feeding them when they want. But I want to tell the African Union now, that is to feed Africa. All you studying the Ukraine and Russia war, and all you jumping the brew with America, it's Africa all you have to study right now, how to feed Africans instead of slaughtering Africans with these poachers and them in all these different so-called organizations under the guise of religion and Muslim, if you was showing you. That is seize the opportunity right now to unify Africa. And you see these poachers, well, you leave the people and them alone. Fight all you fight with the armies and them. Fight against armies. They will have to go out. Leave the little children and mothers and all the elderly. Leave them alone. Thank you very much, Brother David.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Three 420-0081 and 466-5391. Caller, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes.
Yes. Good blessing to you. Brother David Mohammed,
yes.
We have a big problem with leadership in this country, especially where political is concerned. Both UNC and now let me tell you, I heard the Prime Minister saying something probably this week concerning the fighting of the children in the schools. And there is a point where, you know what they're about to do? To take these children to the police. Apparently like the children to suffer some kind of consequences for the fighting and so on. Now, this situation, these children fighting in school so much have a lot to do with the system, the society. For example, we have a here. He speaks to people in a kind of bullish kind of way, righteous. He is one says that speaks up in Parliament. And this guy has been ready African children for the longest while. The last time when these children fight in school, he come out and make a statement that behaving like Africans, like he and hyenas in the African jungle. And this man all has something bad to say about African people. Now,
This situation with the children fighting in school is a whole heap of frustration. With these children being home for so long, you know, they not free up in the mind. They come to school, they kind of frustrated. Now the government not looking at these things. They say, well, let me put something in place that we could try to get these children mind in the right place. But all you could think about is to put them before the police. I think he should put himself before the police, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But let me tell you something. You think this statement that Prime Minister Patrick Manning did make in time gone by, you think Dr. Raleigh don't know about that? You think he do not know that there are certain businessmen involved in drugs in this country? He was there when Patrick Manning was there. So he must know these things. But he always come out down on the citizens. Right? You never know about going after people, but you're always down on the citizens. And you always have, I never hear anything good about African people. He promotes that he's the guy so well, about IRA. And where African is, this man has nothing good to say about African people. I think the people in this country, citizens, they are being brainwashed politically by these people and them. They lie to them continuously, they believe them, and they put them back in power. You have a man 3 times a week. Just imagine that. You ask me 3 times. And you're saying, oh, next year, you'll use it again. So you're not even next year. If things get very bad, you're bound to raise it. But you don't plan to. So you plan to cause oppression. Regardless of the situation, good or bad, you plan to do that. Because you don't plan to raise it next year. These are the kind of people we are. People keep putting them back in power and saying this is good. I want to say in this country, it's time we get rid of PNM and you. They're no good. Both of them always accuse one another of corruption. Who really corrupted? PNM saying UNC corrupted, UNC saying PNM corrupted. But we continuously keep voting for these political parties. I think it's time that we change. I remember Suzuki coming to the People's Party, welcome that. It's time we change it. Thank you very much, David.
All right, thank you, brother. Good morning, caller.
Good morning again, David Mohammed.
Good morning.
I want to say something, eh? Again, I will say I'm sorry for the youth in Trinidad and Tobago. Those who want to join the police force, I am sorry for them. But I want to tell you something. We going wrong in circles, you know. We like people, we like lost sheep. We jumping from one bridge every 5 years and the other side telling you come over on this side of this bridge, we go fix that bridge for you, we'll make things better. When you jump over on that side of the bridge, you say we know where we from, telling me, can they come back over on this side, they ain't doing nothing for us, so we going, we just going wrong in circles all the time. The reason for it is because, you understand, the president of America, the former president of America, Obama, said something, we can't think for ourselves, so they have to think for us. The people in Trinidad and Tobago did not open the mind. They love a party, and our party leader is their God. And the other side love that party, and their party leader on that side is their God. But we're not thinking for ourselves. Let me tell you something, eh? Our problem here in Trinidad and Tobago and around the Caribbean is the people is the problem. The leaders in them lies to them and they believe the lie. Let me tell you something. I want to tell the people of Trinidad something. Open all their mind to all their leaders and pay attention to the things they're saying and the things they're doing and the decision they're making. You understand? I will say this shortly because I know these things not allowed to talk on this radio station. The FDA released files 5 years before this fake pandemic. all the leaders in the Caribbean sign a treaty. You know, when the death toll reached to 2,500 people, you understand? You know how much money they collecting? You know how much money the Prime Minister Trinidad collect? Over $200 and something million from these people. You understand? It was a plot. I am saying again, pay attention to all the leaders and the things they say. We are living in an area, and our leaders in the Caribbean here, most of them, is part of the Westminster system. We have to understand what that means. You understand? Not the things they're telling us, you know. Pay attention to the things they're saying and the things they're doing. You understand? It was like a business 2 years ago to make money and lives on people's lives. A business. Understand it good. You understand? That's why things wouldn't fix in Trinidad, you know. Because you see, we blaming the man on the ground, little youth and them running about. When they bring in the thing, the goods, and wherever firearm remain on the streets, they end up in their hand. They're desperate now. When they come from certain places like Lavantil and Mova, the big time, they can't walk no way. You understand? Because, you know, by the time they hear your name from Lavantil and Mova, even if you have no record, you still can't get no work. Destra was a victim of that, you know. Destra was supposed to be a nurse. She ended up with a calypso and it worked out. You understand? I'm telling you. You understand? Because let me tell you something. You see, this country is so corrupted. I am telling you. You know, sometimes when a person comes from Port of Spain area, they might, if they have a family living in Arima, they might quicker come up here and will give them wrong address to get a job in the government service or maybe in the private sector. That's how they get through. I am telling you, this is real enough. You understand? And this thing are going on here. You see this party jumping thing? I don't believe in, not tell you something up front. I'm telling Trinidad and Tobago something up. I don't believe in politicians, you know. I do not believe in politicians. No, the only person I opened my eyes when I voted for a couple of times, it was Mr. Manning. Because for some reason, he was trying to reach out, but not in a big way to the poor people and African people. But he was reaching out still, small as it is. You understand? But when you see leaders come and they take away that little crumbs from you, in the form of education and all these different things, tell yourself, these people out to destroy you all. Now they're blaming the youth for everything happening in Trinidad, the murder rate, this, the that. You understand? But there is the reason why causing it because of suffering, you know. I grew up in the 1970s. I can tell you, I born 1967. They did not know 10 murders in Trinidad and Tobago for the year. Not even 10 murders it used to have. I can remember hearing murders every day or every month. When you hear a murder in the 1970s, they're like, where that happened? When? And people buying the papers to read where.
Yeah, and it was police brutality.
Yeah.
If at
and
all.
You know what happened? Dr. William make it in a way. The people who sweeping and cleaning the road used to get back paid. And they used to get a lump of money when you year up a back pay, you understand, so they could do things. You understand? The wealth was really reaching to the man on the ground. So they didn't have you don't need to do no crime, to rob nobody. Just like in some of them Muslim countries where they destroy. They used to give the wealth to the poor. Well, man, Mr. Dr. William was actually doing something like that for the people of Trinidad and Tobago in the 1970s and all the 1960s going up there. I am telling you, my father, my aunt, my grandfather, they all buy land doing working dude, cleaning the streets, building pavement, building bridges, and making building box drain. You understand? Because the wealth was reaching to them. But when let me tell you, how much years that was? More than 30 something, almost 40 years ago. These people working for $700 and something a fortnight. How much money that CPAP working for every fortnight? These 40 something years later, they're working for the same money? I am telling people, you understand, listen, do not pay attention to these politicians. You understand? These politicians is on a mission, you know. They exchange lives for money. And it does that. And people not opening their mind to this, you know. They're only seeing it like, when they hear them, it's like crabs in a barrel. They're pulling down one another for a party who does not care about them. Why is that? I ask myself, why is that? David Marvin, have a blessed morning, have a blessed day. Blessing to all the African people around the Caribbean and Trinidad and Tobago. I will call back next week again if you're on the radio that you ask your life.
Thank you, my brother. Good morning, caller.
Eid Mubarak.
Eid Kareem.
Hakim Mohammed.
Yes, and you're welcome to the celebration on Monday, 10 o'clock.
Yes, you know, the papers had the holiday on the 3rd, you know. But you know, the paper, what do you call it? You think I have a holiday for the 3rd, you know, the almanac.
Yeah, no, that always happens.
Okay, they always do it.
Yeah, you always have different days depending on... Yeah, and so on.
Yeah, but I was going to hit some points quick. Last week you were speaking about the violence with children in school. But David, you have to go way back. That violence has started now, you know. That violence started.
We made that point last week.
Yes, I couldn't get into it. That violence go way back in the cave with the Caucasian and then they leave there and they went
that kind of violence you're talking about.
Yeah, no, but that is part of it, but that comes right down the road. You understand? Violence and violence, abuse rate today. Anyway, I want to go back too far. Here what's going on. The brother who spoke just now, I want to commend him for listening to news about Harvard University. It's 3 universities in America, Harvard and 2 others, maybe about 4 of them, that decide, you understand? They're going to give $100 million, you understand? Which is an insult, you understand? Because they have accepted, you understand, they have benefited from slavery. You understand? It's an insult to the intelligence of African people. And I want to find out where is the organization or association of black African lawyers, you understand, to stand up and fight for these things. Because I am observing billions of dollars are being paid by the Catholic Church, you understand, for what it did, you understand, to the young people. They are paying billions because the lawyers are taking them to court and they don't want to go to court. So they have an agreement to decide and pay this thing. I want to find out, you understand, where are the lawyers? You can't tell me that you're going to give me $100 million, $100 million. That's an insult. It's 400 years of slavery that they went through. No other human being has gone through or ever went through what our ancestors went through. And to say you go start sorry, they go start that one. That is joke, but anyway. And we don't have the organization, black organization, come and say, no, you can't do that. You have to come better. Germany said they're going to give Namibia 30 billion in 5 years. 5 billion in 30 years, you understand? That's an insult to what they did. I'm down there. So I can't understand what is really going on. Something really wrong with us. And Brother David, you're speaking about the witnesses. In this country, there was a time when you could have come forward as a witness and give the information to the police and what it is you observe. But since there is a lawyer who said, when you don't have a witness, you win your case. From that time, people afraid to talk.
And that lawyer became an attorney general, right?
Exactly. And get a drawing big money right now, you understand, under this government. You understand? So this is the kind of thing that is happening in society today. These are the people that are responsible for where we are today, because they corrupt. I heard what's the name talk about the corruption the other night. The sheriff's a person always like, you understand? But they have to remember too that she drew her money before the place closed down. You remember that?
Who?
You understand? What's the name?
You talking about the same former finance minister?
Yes, because she drew her money before nobody else said that. You understand? So corruption all over we go. Brother David, I wonder, there's not so much to say, but I will stop here because I want this suspect to come in and say something. Because you know what happened? We have some people with a reputation over and over and take it a lot of time. Have a nice day, my brother, and enjoy the But before I go, I saw you yesterday morning. I want to find out and I heard you are, to me, I might be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, you are the only person that I hear as a Muslim always talking about those Trinidadians that are in Syria.
I was hoping honestly that they picked up on that for their newscast. I didn't see the TV6 news, but well, it's kind of sad if that's the case. But yesterday morning, you know, when Fazir had asked me, you know, about closing remarks for Eid, you know, every year you say these things about you wish peace and happiness and love and blessings. I said, well, let me take the opportunity to highlight the fact again that there are 72 Trinidadian children in Syria who need to be brought back home, who are being ignored by the state. These children are living like animals. They're out there in the desert under tents. It gets very cold at night and very hot during the day. They have no proper technology. They're growing up with a new kind of illiteracy, unable to use computers and cell phones and tablets. Some of them even react to the sound of a car engine because they're so isolated. You know, they're Trinidadians, that's the bottom line. They're Trinidadian citizens, and they cannot be punished for decisions that their parents made, which would have caused them to be out there.
And also, I can bet you that those children are fathered by Africans. I don't hear the head.
Well, the majority of them are African children. They're not all Africans, but the majority of them are Africans.
Yeah, and I don't hear the so-called head of the Islamic, you understand, organization Trinidad talking nothing about it. Where is Nafisa? Where are they?
Well, no, Nafisa has been very active on this.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If I'm wrong,
no, she has been. But you see, the family came to the Kwame Ture Center. In fact, one parent came, and he told me that there were 12 children, 12 Trinidadian children in Syria who were trying to get back home, of which one was his son. And then I did a program on Gael TV highlighting it. And then another family came with more documentation and everything. And they had images, they had photographs, the names, the ages of all of these children. And they had documents for at least 72. That's 72 that we know about. Could be more, but he had documents for 72 of them. And out of that 72, 33 of them were actually born over there. Two Trinidadian parents, so they're still Trinidadians.
Before I go about it, if they were Indian, you cry by the Muslims.
We know that.
Right.
We know that. And worse yet, if they were Trinidadian Syrians, the government themselves would have sent a private plane to pick them up one by one if they had to.
Bring them. But they would enjoy the holiday. You understand? I know time is short now.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, and, you know, blessings to you. Caller, are you there?
Yeah, Brother David.
Yes.
But morning again. But you know, if it was to deport some Africans, they have spent millions to deport them.
Oh, very good point. Very good point. So if it was Africans, we would have paid money to get rid of them. If it was local whites, we would have paid money to bring them back in.
And that is my problem, Brother David. How can we sit down as Africans and believe in these politicians? How can we look at the kind of things that they're doing? Can you imagine if they were African, they deported them? But because they are African children out here to come back home, nobody can see necessary to put them on a jet to bring them here. But it was African.
But you know that as I said a couple of weeks ago, that rock star, Roger Waters, who's a brilliant musician and songwriter. He, from the group Pink Floyd, who sang We Don't Need No Education, right, he apparently saw this story, and he, of one mother, I think from Nelson Street, Port of Spain, and he personally took the initiative to get involved and pay for them to come back home. And those two children are back home in Trinidad now. But we can't expect a rock star from England to bring back all 72 of our children, you know.
And then I see them, I never told you earlier, David, some of these politicians should all shame of themselves and resign with immediate effect.
That's not going to happen. You know that.
That means they're only there for about the money. They're not there for human rights and justice. They're not there for that. David, how many students, David, just come out of school at your time, David, looking for job? Give me half an idea.
How many students what?
Just come out of school every year looking for job.
Oh gosh, off the top of my head, I don't know. It will be just under 100,000.
All right. I just imagine, Brother David, I haven't seen for the last 5 years, into the last 7 years, what this government have done to make our economic life become better. Because we have to prepare for the youth coming out of school.
Yeah.
Wonder why we must have crime.
Yeah. Well, thanks a lot, and that is a very keen observation. But this is where I leave it for this morning. I'll be back on next week, Saturday, for the Black Agenda. Remember, you can catch me on Gael TV Sunday nights, 8 o'clock. Tuesday nights, 8 o'clock. All right? And we have our meeting as normal on Sunday tomorrow at 11 o'clock at the Kwame Ture Center, but we specially invite you out to our Eid celebration from 10 o'clock on Monday morning. Assalamu alaikum.
The views expressed are not necessarily the views of the management of the Street 919 FM.